Right, so saw the red carpet out. That was for this video of Nick James's hot off the press from the annular eclipse on 20th of May. So I don't know if you want to give any commentary on this, Nick.
Okay, this is Bryce Canyon in Utah. So we were pretty much on the centre line of the annular eclipse here. A load of people had turned up. The LA Times said it would go dark during annularity, so we were a bit worried that people would be disappointed. But that was my stuff. That's a Megara 72 with a Canon 550 on the back of it. And this is the video that was taken with that system. So the Canon 550 can shoot high definition video. You can see there are a few sunspots there. And it's just approaching annularity. The moon was a lot smaller than the sun. The moon was pretty much apogee. So yeah, this is where it was. It was fairly low down above the horizon, above the canyon. Yeah, it was a really nice place to see an eclipse. It would have been even better if it had been total, but in the end, even the annular was quite spectacular. We'll see annularity start in a minute. So, okay, so this is coming up to annularity. Moon's pretty much at apogee. The sun's almost at its closest. So I think the total obscuration was only about 89%. So even during annularity, there wasn't much in the way of obvious drop in illumination. Some good Bailey's beads. I don't know well they'll show up on this screen, but this is coming up to second contact now. Some quite nice Bailey's beads coming up to second contact. There they are. So this is about just over a week ago now, last Sunday, a week ago, the 20th of May. We were on the centre line. Other people got some really good views of Bailey's beads around the edge. There was something like, we were told something like 10,000 people had come into the park to see this, and there were people all over the States watching it, but the local press, in the typical way they do, said that you were only there to see the annular eclipse in the Bryce Canyon National Park. All kinds of other weird things they said. So that's about central annularity. There it was. Lots of people just saw second contact and left. So well, that was it. They hadn't seen enough by now. This is coming up to third contact again, some nice Bailey's beads at third contact. So things have come on quite a way since the film that Bob Marriott was shown, and what you're able to do with eclipses. The other nice thing about this eclipse is that it actually set in partial eclipse. So this is now coming towards the end, so it's set into some pine trees that are on the other side of the canyon, which is quite a nice sunset. That's it.
Great, thanks very much, Nick. Right, so just a few photos of the sun. Been obviously very active over the last month or so. There's this really nice big this didn't work very well. Nice very big sunspot. Some people were able to see this naked eye, I believe, with solar filters. So quite a nice group, especially when it was on the centre line. These are photos from Pete Lawrence. And progressed across the sun in some more spots. Same sort of view in Itch Alpha. There's a close-up. So it's quite a remarkable spot this was. That's on the May the 13th. View in calcium, with a calcium PST, I believe. Close-up of the spot there. And these are just three views taken more or less at the same time in Itch Alpha, white light, and calcium. So interesting to see the differences in the and the similarities between the different views. So the sun's very active. It's always worthwhile going out to having a look if you're using white light filters or solar telescopes. And these are a couple of pictures of this spot from Dave Tyler. So yeah, worth going out, having a look virtually any time at the moment. And this was an interesting little pictures of the International Space Station heading across the sun by Alex Pratt. Alex was trying to have a practice session for the transit of Venus, and timed it so that he could try and have a go at this ISS transit. So, quite a feat, I think. Venus, of course, has been very bright, and it seems to have been a bit of a game to try and acquire the thinnest crescent Venus image possible. I'm not completely up to date with this because I believe there have been a couple in the last day or two which aren't in this set of slides, but yeah. So we're 22nd, 26th is from Peter Edwards. This is David Arditi's picture. So I'm going to pop through these fairly rapidly, and this is a video set from Nick James, covering back from April through to a week or so ago.
Yeah, last Sunday.
So it's quite nice to see the change of the crescent over the months, over the weeks of the month. I guess not particularly hard to do. Anyone with a go-to telescope and a digital camera on the back end of it is fairly straightforward. Nice short exposures. I think that's the last one, yeah. So I expect everyone's ready for the transit of Venus. If you remember back in 2004, for the last transit, this is a picture of the big party down in Southsea, where Patrick hosted a huge number of people in the TV and etc. This is one of Martin Mobley's photographs, Venus transiting. These are pictures from 2004 again. This is Damien Peach and Dave Tyler's. This is a picture by, I can't remember now. Little video clip. It will be in my notes, which I can't see. This is Martin Morgan Taylor's sequence. Of course, for this next transit, we're not quite so well placed. Unfortunately, this is the little map from the journal showing sunrise times. Important times to note are the start of egress is 0436 UT more or less, ends at 0454 UT. So basically, the further north and east you can get, probably the better. The more time you'll have, and the sun will be at a higher altitude for seeing it. And fortunately, probably the weather, the further north and east you get, it gets worse as well. So, not necessarily true. It's true. Plenty of details in the VA journal, June 2011, last year's journal, and on our little transit website, Transit 2012. I hope that's not an Olympic copyright infringement. So there's the details for various places around the UK. Again, those are all on the website and in the journal, should you want to refer to them in more detail. Remember, these are all UT times, so you need to adjust for BST. It is the Noctilucent cloud season approaching. So I've not actually had any pictures of Noctilucent clouds through so far this season, but there have been a few tentative viewings or tentative observations posted on the NLC net. These are a few pictures from last year. This is from James Fraser in Alness, which is north of Scotland. This is from Alan Tuff in Elgin in the north of Scotland. And this is one that I took when I was in Orkney on holiday last year, which was very much just a a fortuitous happening. I didn't have any proper equipment with me, but was able to capture quite a nice display back in July. nlcnet.co.uk is the website where all of the observations get reported, and is an excellent place to go and find out what's happening. Just a few pictures of Mars. It's, I guess the last sky notes were at the end of March this year, and this was a picture by Peter Edwards in 12th of March, when the disk was about 13-14 seconds of arc, so quite big, and it's remarkable the images that have been sent through. The amount of detail on such a small disk has been really remarkable. This is Marc Delcroix, who's in France, and Damien Peach down in Chelsea had some remarkable images. This is May 12th, so that's a disk is only about 9 seconds. Another one from Marc Delcroix on the 24th. It's getting a bit low now, so and it's getting even smaller, but still possible over the next few weeks. Saturn's been well placed. Here's just a couple of pictures from May, taken by Damien and Peter Edwards again. Looking forward a little bit, Uranus and Neptune will be coming into view. So if we're looking at towards the end of July, we'll be able to find Neptune in Aquarius and Uranus in Pisces. So a bit low again, but certainly worthwhile popping out and having a look at those. Pluto I thought was a little bit interesting because it's again it's a bit low in the south, but again towards middle of June this is it's not very far away from the open cluster M25, and it makes this little pass underneath M25. So I don't know whether it's very well observed these days. Most people seem to forget about it now. It's not a planet anymore, and but a good opportunity to go for it visually, and I guess it'll be a doddle for anyone with the imaging equipment. So it starts out there in middle of June, gets quite close to M25 middle of July, and then by middle of August it's just about past, so something to look out for, I think. Comets, I got quite excited when I got this email from Richard Miles about Comet 17P Holmes brightening dramatically, and then I looked at his observations to find it brightened from 21.1 magnitude to 19.7. So I decided this wasn't quite well, it is a very interesting observation. Richard was using the Folkes telescope to do this, and a 1.3 magnitude brightening is really quite interesting. You do need some quite big gear to actually make that observation. One that's another interesting one was this newly discovered comet 2012 J1 Catalina, and this is an image made by Denis Brzezinski up in Tarbet Ness in Ross and Cromarty, or one of those two. And so this was just an observation, managed to catch it just a couple of days after discovery. So well done to Dennis on that one. And 2011 F1 Linear is the only brightening comet which is reasonably accessible to most observers, around about 12th magnitude at the moment. These are two images from April from Nick James and Nick Evitts. There's comets there, it's still really faint, I guess. But yeah, 12th magnitude should be within reach of many observers over the next couple of months. It's quite well placed. It's in the moment it's in Boötes, so about 50 degrees to declination, so yeah, it should be fairly accessible to most people, I would think. And Graham Ralph of the computing section has been putting together some great comet charts. So if you go onto the computing section website, you'll find some great charts there for all the current bright comets. And it will brighten a little bit over the next couple of months, I think, and maybe become a little bit more accessible. Supernovae, Tom Bowles got his 149th supernova discovery. Well, he's claiming it. It's not been designated yet because there hasn't been a spectron. It has been independently verified as a candidate, really. And Tom's claiming it as his 149th. And there was another recent supernova, SN 2012 CG in NGC 4424 in Virgo. This is an image made by Maurice Gavin, just using a 12-inch Meade and his Lodestar camera. Lodestar is a CCD guiding camera, in fact, from Starlight Express, and quite bright again. It's 12th magnitude or so, and should be fairly accessible. Again, almost a visual observation for some people with big enough equipment. That's what the galaxy looks like from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, and that's roughly where it is at the moment in between Virgo and Leo. So probably worthwhile looking out for that. It's been quite remarkable how many quite bright supernovae there have been over the past year or so. When you think back of the variety of ones which have been well within visual observers' views. I was just going to finish off with a reminder about the Perseids. Peaks in August 12th, 13th. Quite well placed this year. The moon is going to be 24 days old, so shouldn't interfere too much with observations. It will be a small crescent towards the end of night. This is a picture of Peter Meadows, or little